News, Delaware Valley's leading news program at 10 p.m. with meteorologist Melissa Magee, Jeff Skversky, and Rob Jennings.
Welcome to Action News at 10 on PHL17. In the news, in just 2 hours, the NHL season could be put on ice, and a community gathers in memory of a fallen Montgomery County police officer. But the big story in Action News is the mystery surrounding the fatal helicopter crash in Mercer County, New Jersey. Was it a mechanical problem or a flock of birds or something else? The chopper had just taken off from Princeton and was headed to Atlantic City. It had only flown 6 miles before it crashed into a cornfield off Route 1 and Quaker Bridge Road. Action News reporter Jennifer Joyce is at the scene tonight with the latest for us. Jennifer?
Well, we still do not know the identity of the victim. The aircraft crashed into a field behind me. It went up in flames immediately, and now the NTSB will spend the next 6 to 12 months trying to figure out what went wrong. This was the scene just minutes after a helicopter crashed into a cornfield and went up in flames. Emergency crews arrived to the scene off of Route 1 in West Windsor Township, but the FAA tells us the lone passenger aboard the aircraft was dead.
There was no distress call, and the helicopter disappeared from radar about noon or possibly 12:01.
No distress call meant no warning for aircraft controllers about any problems. And now, for investigators, a very vague idea of what went wrong.
It looks like some type of rotor, some type of engine problem that exploded in the air. We do have eyewitness accounts that said there was a flock of birds in the area. They did not see any type of manual intervention or anything that would have caused this.
The helicopter was en route from Princeton to Atlantic City, but just 6 miles into the trip, witnesses say they saw the Twin Star go down.
We hear like a grinding noise coming from the sky. We look up, all of a sudden we just see the helicopter just start spinning out of control, and all of a sudden it just drops.
It was around like 3 explosions, 3 small explosions. So it was like pop, pop, pop.
Investigators tell us there was a strong stench of fuel at the scene. Another observation, one of 3 helicopter blades was missing.
We have not accounted for 1 rotor blade. So if anyone does find a rotor blade, to please call local police. They'll know how to get in touch with us.
Every bit of available evidence is crucial to investigators, who tell us 80% of the wreckage was lost in the blaze. Technicians familiar with this particular aircraft are flying into town tonight to help with this investigation and determine if any flight data survived. We're live in West Windsor Township. I'm Jennifer Joyce for Action News at 10 on PHL 17.
Thank you, Jennifer. A deadly crash in North Jersey has claimed 2 people's lives, left 3 other people critically hurt. A mother and her father were walking from a religious service with their adult child and another couple when they were all hit by a car. This was the scene from Chopper 6 HD in East Brunswick, Middlesex County this afternoon. Witnesses say the driver of the car lost control and slammed into those people. The parents were killed. The 3 other victims were taken to hospitals in unknown condition. Not clear whether the driver will face any kind of criminal charges. Camden police are looking for a possible child predator. A 9-year-old boy told a school counselor that a man in a truck tried to abduct him. This happened yesterday morning at Mount Ephraim and Ferry Avenues. The man was driving a newer model metallic blue Chevy pickup with unknown plates. He reportedly tried to lure the little boy with a $5 bill, but then quickly drove off. The child described the man as a slim white man with blonde hair in his 30s or 40s. Tonight, emergency responders continue to mourn the loss of one of their own who was cut down in the line of duty. Candles flickered as night fell over the Valley Forge Memorial Arch at this tribute to Officer Bradley Fox. This was organized by Montgomery County agencies. The Plymouth Township canine officer died Thursday after he was shot in the head responding to a hit-and-run crash. Tonight, they released balloons filled with messages of thanks to Fox and remembered the married father as a man who devoted and ultimately lost his life in service. There will be 2 public viewings for Officer Fox. The services will be held Tuesday and Wednesday at Epiphany of Our Lord Roman Catholic Church in Plymouth Meeting. Officer Fox was a Marine veteran and will be buried with full military honors on Wednesday. He will be laid to rest at Washington Crossing Veterans Cemetery in Bucks County following a Catholic Mass. Overseas tonight, Sudan is reportedly blocking a United States mission to send security to the U.S. Embassy there. U.S. Marines were sent to the embassy after protesters tried to storm that building this week, but U.S. officials say the Sudanese government is objecting to the move. Similar teams have been sent to Libya and Yemen, where violent demonstrations continue. The demonstrators are protesting an anti-Islam film made in this country. And federal investigators are questioning the man that's behind that controversial film. Nakula Basele Nakula, seen here in a disguise, has also been questioned by California probation officers. This Egyptian Christian is on probation in California after serving time in prison on fraud charges. Members of his religious community are distancing themselves from the scandal.
We reject violence, and we also reject insensitivity. This movie is certainly not sensitive to our brothers and sisters, the Muslims.
Al-Qaeda has called for more attacks in response to that film. The U.S. State Department has set up a 24-hour crisis team to monitor the continuing violence.
And over half mark. Got with a shotgun. He's blowing the place apart. Send as many people as possible.
That's one of the 911 calls that came in after an ex-Marine opened fire inside a New Jersey grocery store last month. Those tapes are now just being released. 2 Pathmark employees were killed. That store wasn't open to the public at the time. Police described the suspect, Terrence Tyler, as depressed. He eventually turned the gun on himself. Delaware State Police say this man's out on bail tonight after stealing his own truck. Donald Smith of Delaware reportedly used a front-end loader to haul his pickup out of a stop-and-go parking lot. The business was holding the vehicle until Smith paid up on some services the company had completed for him. State police eventually took Smith into custody after chasing him in his front-end loader. An end to the Chicago teachers' strike might come this weekend. Both sides are trying to work out the details of a tentative agreement. Teachers first walked out on Monday. 350,000 students have been out of school since then. District officials are hopeful classes will resume on Monday. Union leaders, though, say they will not end the strike until they see the deal in writing. A National Hockey League lockout is looming, and there are no talks planned to try to stop it. The NHL commissioner says no talks are planned with the players' union before tonight's midnight deadline. That's less than 2 hours from now. Jeff Skversky will have more on the fate of the NHL season, along with reaction from some of the Flyers coming up a little later in sports. Right now, meteorologist Melissa Magee joins us for a first look at AccuWeather. Melissa?
And Rob, we had a gorgeous start to our weekend. If you're stepping out on the town tonight, might need a light coat or a light jacket. Temperatures are really chilling down. Our high temperature today, 76 degrees. Now it's 10 degrees cooler, 66 in Center City, 58 in Trenton, 63 in Wilmington, 57 in Millville, and 70 along the coast in Cape May. Here's Satellite 6 along with Action Radar. Really not a whole lot to talk about. High pressure remains in control, so mainly clear skies and fairly light winds across the region, with just a few high thin clouds starting to drift across portions of the Delaware and Lehigh valleys. So what's ahead? We'll take a look. Sunny on our Sunday, so if you like today, really going to like tomorrow. Temperatures, however, near average. In fact, in some spots we might be slightly below average for the rest of our weekend, and we are tracking some rain and some wind once we get into early next week. A strong storm system moves in. We'll talk about when, the timing with that, and how much precipitation will be on the way with the full and exclusive AccuWeather 7-day, Rob.
All right, we'll check you later, Melissa. Thank you. Art enthusiasts dressed as beautifully as the masterpieces around them tonight at the Rodin Museum. The gallery on the Ben Franklin Parkway hosted a garden black tie gala to celebrate its grand reopening. A 4-year revitalization project wrapped up in July, and tonight the guests mingled among the sculptures. The museum boasts the largest collection of Rodin's works outside of Paris. And still ahead on Action News at 10, dressed to impress, we will show you the gorgeous gown that's going for $5 million. Plus, the paparazzi proves a royal pain for Will and Kate. What action the British family is taking against those tabloids. And it gives you wings, but does it make you fly? Not that one. We stop by the Red Bull Flugtag in Camden as Action News at 10 on PHL17 returns. The British royal family is fighting to keep topless photos of Prince William's wife, Kate, from being further exposed. Today, an Irish tabloid published the images of a sunbathing Kate, and Italian magazine plans to do the same. Couples already sued a French publication for running them earlier this week. This debacle plays out while William and Kate are representing the Queen during a tour of Asia. Back here, the shore house that belonged to the Philadelphia Archdiocese has new owners tonight. The Ventnor property, known as Villa St. Joseph, sold for $4.1 million at auction today. The winning bidders are a couple from Newtown Square. They say they plan to maintain the shore house as a family compound. The Archdiocese auctioned off the property to offset the mounting legal fees from the church's child sex abuse trial. And now on Health Check at 10. Folks in Delaware County are raising money to fight an aggressive form of cancer. Friends of 11-year-old Nathan Silpath surprised him with a party in Millmont Park tonight. 2 years ago, doctors diagnosed Nathan with bone cancer in his leg. Now it has spread to his lungs. Local fire and police units escorted little Nathan to tonight's benefit to honor his true, courageous spirit. And we salute him as well. Now to Melissa with a closer look at our AccuWeather forecast.
And Rob, we were sun-soaked on our Saturday. Plenty of sunshine all across the Delaware and Lehigh Valley is a nice way to get our weekend started. Our high temperature today slightly below where we normally should be. 76 degrees. Normally we're in at 78 degrees. But keep in mind our sunset tonight at 7:09. So just another sign that fall not too far away. In fact, literally 1 week away, we will be talking about the autumnal equinox across the region. Temperatures outside as we look across the Delaware and Lehigh Valley, 66 in Center City, 57 in Trenton, 63 in Wilmington, 52 in Allentown, 58 in Reading, 62 along the coast in Atlantic City, 66 in Wildwood and in Dover. At this hour, we are in the lower 60s. We'll show you Satellite 6 along with Action Radar, and really clear conditions all across much of the Northeast. You have high pressure that's dominating our region, so that did trigger a bit of a north to northwesterly wind, and because of that wind, we had those winds gusty from anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Clear skies and light winds on the way tonight with just a few high thin clouds. You do not have to worry about this precipitation until we get into Monday and into Tuesday. We're tracking our next storm system that works its way into the region. But for the rest of our weekend, no worries. Another nice one on the way. High pressure stays in control. The high temperature tomorrow, 76 degrees with bright sunshine overhead. So if you are traveling down the shore, you're really not going to have any issues. In fact, bright sunshine tomorrow with a high temperature of 74 degrees. And the good news tomorrow, we were talking about those winds and how they were gusting anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour today. The winds will start to relax and diminish as that high sits right on top of the Delaware and Lehigh Valleys. Over to the Poconos, a bit of a fall feeling on the way. High temperature is 67 degrees and sun and clouds sharing the sky tomorrow. The Eagles at home in their home opener kickoff at 1 o'clock at the Link. That kickoff temperature 70 degrees. It's sunny and nice. The winds out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. By the time we get into the fourth quarter, that temperature increases to about 74. As we look at our wake-up forecast tomorrow in the Lehigh Valley, bright sunshine, just a few high thin clouds moving through the region. A high temperature 52 degrees at least as you wake up tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning in the Delaware Valley, 60 degrees with temperatures increasing throughout the day with plenty of sunshine. 56 degrees in southern sections of New Jersey as you wake up tomorrow morning. Here's exclusive AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Just gorgeous on our Sunday and at 75 degrees. Sun to clouds on Monday with a high temperature of 76 degrees. I think we're going to be dry for the majority of the day on Monday, but late Monday we're tracking some moisture that comes in from the south. High temperature 76 degrees. Then periods of rain really develop on Tuesday with a high temperature of 77 degrees. We're tracking rain, even some windy conditions along coastal communities by Tuesday. We'll clear out by Wednesday afternoon with plenty of sunshine, a high of 76 degrees. In the wake of that, it's sunny and cooler on Thursday, 73, 76 on Friday, and 74 once we get into the first weekend of fall on Saturday. That is a look at the forecast. Rob, back over to you.
Thank you, Melissa. And up next, the Phillies continue their wild card hunt in Houston and the airborne antics of daredevils along the Delaware when Action News at 10 on PHL 17 continues. Pardon some high flying, well, sort of high flying, not really high flying, fun in Camden today. Chopper 6HD was at the Red Bull Flutog over the Delaware River. Pilots were pushing their home-crafted creations off that ramp, hoping that they would fly. Well, they didn't. Although they didn't get a lot of airtime, everybody had a lot of fun, as you can see. And by the way, Flutog means Flying Day in German. Jeff Skversky now talking about the Phillies, and their wild card run is kind of hitting the wall right now.
Yeah, they're trying to avoid falling further down, but the Astros, man, they gave them such problems of all teams. The Phillies may have just a 5% chance of making the playoffs, but the team still getting ready for the improbable run, offering season ticket holders a chance to buy playoff tickets. Of course, before we get ahead of ourselves, Phil's 3 games out of the wild card coming into play tonight in Houston. But the fans little to cheer about. Kyle Kendrick has the second-best ERA in baseball since the break, but he can't catch a break tonight. First inning, Justin Maxwell, 2-run homer. Kendrick allows 4 runs in 5 innings. 4th inning, Phil's can't get it back. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Oh! Kevin Franzen grounds out to the pitcher and leaves him loaded. Dallas Keuchel holds the team scoreless for the first time all season. Phillies lose for the second time in 3 games to the worst team in baseball. 5-0 your final tonight. So how does Bill O'Brien celebrate his first win as Penn State's coach? He walks into the locker room, congratulates his players, yet quickly reminds them it's only 1 win. And now it's time to get ready for Temple next week. All business. Penn State students camping out to get that great seat for the Navy game today. Don't worry, Mom and Dad, look, they're doing their homework. Well, Penn State does their homework on Navy, and it pays off. Matt McGloin throws 4 touchdowns, 3 of them on their first 3 possessions. Allen Robinson, 45-yard score. Penn State gets up 20-0 at the half, and they add to it in the second. McGloin for the end zone. Watch this. Tipped and into the hands of Robinson, his 3rd touchdown of the day. Penn State jumping for joy, 34-7 your win, avoiding their first 0-3 start in 11 years. Yeah, O'Brien gets a shower and that first W.
Robertson again.
Villanova hosting Rhode Island today. Big day for Kevin Monagal. 3 rushing touchdowns. His 23-yarder, his longest, all Nova, 31-10. Wildcats improved to 2-1. Michael Vick is expected to have his top weapons tomorrow against Baltimore. Despite injuries to starting receivers Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin, they should be a go. Eagles offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg says he talked to Vick this week about not overthinking it and just react out there. But Vick has been around long enough to know all that matters is how he plays on game day.
I think it's all about Sundays. In practice, decision making is important, but when the bullets are flying, that's when you have to be at your best. And I think over the course of my career, I've done a good job with that, and just getting back to it, and I will.
The NHL will officially lock out its players at midnight when the CBA expires. Flyers defenseman Braden Coburn tells 6ABC the players are prepared to sit out the whole year if necessary. Younger players like Sean Couturier and Braden Shen have been sent down to the minors so they have somewhere to play. Now, NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has said the fans will come back when this all gets resolved, but Flyers forward Scott Hartnell has a problem with that statement.
I think it's kind of a slap in the face to the fans that that they'll come back regardless of how long we're out. That's a bad attitude to have, I think, right from the get-go, and I think they deserve a lot more respect than that.
Hartnell not happy. He says if this thing drags out, he will go play in Europe this season.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right.
Well, the rodeo hit the open road in Bucks County today. Bus drivers put their skills to the test for the annual SEPTA rodeo in Bensalem. The transit workers navigated obstacle courses for the crowd, and there were also some classic buses on display, like that old yellow one there and that one. Today's winners move on to a national competition. And this is one of the world's most expensive dresses. It hit the catwalk in Ukraine this weekend. Where is it? It's not on that bus. Okay, we'll be back to see that expensive dress in just a moment. This is right there. It hit the catwalk in Ukraine this weekend. It's adorned with 52-carat black diamonds. It weighs 29 pounds. It is valued, Melissa, at $5.7 million. So quickly give us a day planner for tomorrow.
Lots of sunshine on the way tomorrow, Rob. High temperature 75 degrees, but 9 a.m. that temperature 59, 68 at noontime, and then we'll max out at 75. Chris Sowers will have the latest on 6 ABC tomorrow morning.
And of course, Chris and the rest of the Action News team will be here tomorrow morning beginning at 6, and they will have complete coverage from South Philadelphia as Eagles fans gather for the 2012 home opener. That story and more at 6 tomorrow morning on 6 ABC. That'll do it for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. We'll be back tomorrow night. And beginning Monday, look for Brian Taft, Shirley and Allicott, Adam Joseph and Deuces Rogers weeknights at 10 p.m. here on PHL 17. Eagles Unscripted is next here for Melissa Magee, Jeff Skversky, the entire Action News team. I'm Rob Jennings. Have a great night.
The laughs are coming.
Did you just give me the high voice?
No. I'm not giving you the high voice. Are we there yet? 5:30 starting Monday on PHL 17.